Hey folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail. We are in the midst of the role quest, so let's get to the tank one. The narwhal beckons. Oh, hello! Judging by your attire, you must be a traveler from across the seas. Then I suppose XIV has enlisted you to our aid. You were guided here safely must be the work of the brave narwhal, who remains vigilant even in this dire time. We are ever grateful for its vigilance. My name is Loziniqui, and I hail from the northern reaches of Dawntrail, where even our breath freezes when caught in the chilling winds. Our people revere a Trollvidral of the narwhal, whose essence rests in the cradle of the sleepless, our most sacred treasure. Through fathomless depths it swam without rest, protecting its home from any who would do it harm. Legends tell that the narwhal could place the burden of its fatigue upon another, and thus was able to maintain its vigil night and day. So too can any who possess the cradle lull a person, willing or no, into a deep slumber, all while avoiding the need for sleep themselves. Needless to say, such power could cause untold harm in the wrong hands. Thus was the greatest warrior of our village, Tentowa, tasked with crossing the ocean and returning that which is most sacred to us. I'd have joined him, but I fear I would only be a burden. So I remained here that I might find someone to send to his aid. Tentowa has ever rushed bravely and blindly into the thick of things, leaving me behind to watch him worry. But if there's anything I can do to help him, even a little, then I must. XIV has done well to send you to me. I can tell you are the woman, just the woman to temper his more reckless tendencies and keep him safe during his quest. As luck would have it, a letter from Tentowa arrived shortly before you did. It seems he discovered the thief made his way to a place called Ishgard. Well, I don't doubt his prowess. Even Tentowa would be rendered helpless before the narwhal's lullaby. Please, could you follow him to Ishgard and find him before he does anything rash? Ishgard is not like a second home. It's like a second home to me. Fine. Thank you, Arya. I knew the narwhal would be a brave protector to our side. Tentowa sails to an unfamiliar place, but despite his hasty nature, he doubtless spent time gathering information about his new surroundings before planning his next step. If Ishgard has a place like this one, where people gather to drink and talk, he might go there first. Ask for a swordsman with blue hair in an attire like mine, and I'm sure it won't be long until you find him. If it is an Arya, what'll it be? A lad from the western continent? Well, can't be going around gossiping about the comings and goes of my customers now, can I? That's a quick way to an empty tavern. I suppose, since you're you, I can make an exception just this once. A lad much like the one you described walked through my door not long ago. Was asking anyone whose ear he could bend about some stolen narwhal or some such he was after. Usually by someone I drank before interrogating them, but not him. Nobody knew what he was going on about, but he was determined. Asked where else in Ishgard people might gather to flap their lips. So I told him to head to the Jewel of Crozier. If you leave now, I reckon he'll still be there. You'll know when you see him. Trust me. Because he looks a lot higher quality than all of you. Also, while I'm here... Oh, I can only buy like 10. I'll get some Aetheryte tickets. While I'm here. What am I doing? Bunch of useless, but a narwhal's horn you think manners keep people warm for how desperately these people cling to them. And here I'm trying to rid their city of a thief. Yes, it seems you know me, but I don't think I've ever seen you before. I remember. Loziniqui sent you? Even across the ocean she can sense when I'm in trouble. Well, I won't deny a helping hand, especially one with her blessing. I'm having no luck getting information from these people. It seems there are unwritten rules regarding favors, and no one's bothered to tell me. I know the thief traveled here, but that's where the trail runs cold. I thought it'd be only a matter of time until they use the trail to commit some misdeed or another, but it seems nothing is amiss within or without Ishgard's walls. I've only a description to go on, although it's availed me nothing so far. Woman of race in this land, known in this land as Ellison, has striking red hair and eyes the color of rust. Scar dominates her forehead and a mole rests upon her lips. She came to my village posing as a scholar with an interest in the cradle. Though she gave us a name, I know now it was a lie, just like everything else that spewed from her mouth. The bounty of meat, vegetables, and fruit she offered was worth its weight in gold to us after the cold snap we suffered last year. Couldn't afford to turn her away. But looking back, I realized how brazen her deception was. Although she wore the robes of a scholar, she moved with the poise of a predator. I marked her as a fearsome warrior the moment I laid eyes upon her. Of course, she wouldn't have been able to travel so far north on her own if she was unseasoned, so I thought nothing of it at the time. It was my first misstep of many. That's all I know. It's not much, but if you see even the smallest scrap of a clue in there, I'd be a damn sight better than one I currently have. She feels like I want skill. She depends to see. Feels sort of be known. A few scholars study in Ishgard without passing through the astrologicum. I see your point, but her guise as a scholar was only meant to win our trust. I doubt she's a woman of learning. She feels even an ounce of guilt she would seek penance at St. Raymond's Cathedral. Penance? Yeah, I haven't heard that word before, but I can guess its meaning. Either way, she didn't strike me as the remorseful type. Skills would be known among the knights of the congregation. Knights, was it? I suppose that's what you call these deadly-looking fellows clad in steel. Yes, you may be onto something there, but where would we find one willing to speak? At their barracks near the tavern? I know the way. I'll meet you there. Why, Mistress Ariana, what brings you to the congregation? This Passage of the Unbound is not a name I've heard before, but if one of their number has brought an artifact of great power to Ishgard, we would be ill-advised to suffer their presence. We shall act on this information at once. If there is aught that would threaten the peace, it is ardently rooted out. Sir, the Knights of the congregation, at your disposal. Thank you for hearing us out, truly. Now, does anything about the description we shared ring a bell? An elven woman with red hair and the eyes the color of rust. Wait, you said she bore a scar on her forehead, yes? Animal? No, it could not be. You know who she is? Well, such information is usually privy only to those within our order. Pray understand my hesitation. What? Weren't you listening to anything we told you? She's too dangerous to be left alone. This isn't the time for secrecy. I know I'm a stranger in your city, but I cannot stand by while innocent lives might be at risk. If you can't trust Tintoa, then trust me. I'm pulling rank here. You were right, of course. If the hero who ended the Dragonsong War is not worthy of our trust, then who is? Very well. Master Tintoa, pray accept my apologies. Although you may not be Ishgardian, your desire to keep its people safe is plain to see. We shall place our trust in you, as Mistress Ariana has. I'm glad we can see eye to eye now then, whether you know this thief. Your description called back some old memories. Memories of a knight named Leothan. Merely recalling her story makes me ill at ease, for the mark she left upon our honorable order was dark black as pitch. None know of her whereabouts since she was expelled from the congregation. I had thought living with the shame of her deeds would be punishment enough, but if she now consorts with villains to threaten the very foundation of order, then 'tis clear we can suffer her freedom no longer. I shall inform my superiors of this development and suggest that the congregation does all in its power to track down Leofin and place her in custody. If we learn aught of value, I promise to share it with you at once. Really? That's more than we could have asked for. I think I'm adding words. Whatever. Suppose we ought to consider what to do in the meantime? Care to join me over there, are ya? So, we have a name. Leofin, a former knight of Ishgard. That means she knows how to hide herself in the city well. Grasping about at straws won't get us anywhere. My own unfamiliar does little to help our chances. We may have no choice but to wait till the knights discover a lead. Nevertheless, I intend to spend every waking moment learning about the city learning more about the city and its workings. As for you, I ask that you be ready to move at a moment's notice. Until then, be well. Sleepless in Ishgard. There you are, Arya. I've been walking Ishgard streets whenever I've been able, and I've taken to searching for any sleeping people. See, land I'm from is much warmer than this, and people know not to tempt fate by dozing off in the open air. Even those blind with drink manage to find their way home, somehow. I figure the only force powerful enough to overcome that instinct for self-preservation would be the cradle, so if we find a sleeper exposed to the elements, we may very well discover Leofin nearby. Can't imagine she brought all this way just to remain idle. It's a tedious prospect, but we need to scour every back alley and shadowed walkway before anyone, which is something much worse than the cold. I needed a drink. Mistress Ariana, Master Tintoa, I bring good tidings. The Temple Knights wasted no time in distributing handbills across Ishgard containing Leofin's description. These efforts have already borne fruit. We but recently received a report of someone matching your features being sighted. Really? Where? She was sighted near Camp Dragonhead by a patrolling sentry. He described a woman with red hair and a distinct scar on her forehead. The outpost can be reached by passing through the Gates of Judgment and heading east. Once there, speak with Sir Eugenio for the full report. I knew she'd show herself. Let's hurry, Arya. I was informed you were on your way. This is concerning the report by one of our sentries, yes? He cited a woman matching the description in the handbill sent by the congregation. She was headed south along the footpath, but that's all we know. Yes, this is Eugenio. What? Hold fast. I shall send aid at once. What happened? A shipment of supplies was waylaid by a monstrous beast. A contingent of Temple Knights should have been protecting it, but something is amiss. They need our help. We will be in your debt. The shipment was attacked on the road west of the observatorium. I shall muster more knights. Please go find my men before any lives are lost. Hey, no, this is the B rank of Querthus Central. They should be close, right? I'll search the other side of the river. Arya, you search further down the road and keep your weapon at the ready. Well, you didn't even try to look, did you? Let's do terrible gunbreaker rotation. It's fine, right? Anything else? Nope. Let's help this poor house for taunt knight. Ishgardian politics. Something, something. You saved us. We were almost... You won't be feasting today! Not a moment too soon. The wide eye watches eternal, and eternal is the sleep it bestows. We were too late. Oh, they're not. Oh, just look, they're asleep. That's all. Good, good. Our trusty chocobo suddenly became unsure of their feet, and the wagon toppled onto the side of the road. There was nothing for it but to fix the damage on the spot. The temple knights went to secure the area, but before I knew it, each and every one of them had fallen asleep where they were standing. And these attacks. It was just me before those snarling fangs. Time to wake up. Sleep here any longer and the cold will have you. What happened? We fell asleep, but we were trolling. He must be mistaken. A temple knight would never shirk his duty so. Are you calling me a liar? I saw you fall over on your arse with my own eyes! If not for Surge and those quick response and the bravery of these warriors, we would all be food for the vultures by now. Congregation will hear of this dereliction of duty, you can be sure. Now, hold on just a moment. They aren't the ones to blame. A sacred relic of my people was stolen, and... now isn't the time. Sorry, forget I said anything. Whatever Disney Silver took the chocobo seems to have passed, so I'll resume my journey once the carriage is prepared. Assuming my guards are quite refreshed, I believe we can make it on our own. Please return to the camp, Dragonhead, and warm yourself. It's no coincidence that the giant birds and the two guards took leave of their senses around the same time. This is the work of the cradle. But even if Leofin was here, she is no longer. Let's return to the city and consider our next steps. We have received a report of the incident near Camp Dragonhead. Two of our own sleeping on duty. By the fury! Had you reached them even a moment later, this day would have been much darker. Though it pains me to say it, those two shall be punished as befits the magnitude of their negligence. If I may, I don't believe the blame rests entirely on their shoulders. The cradle of the sleepless was used against them, I'm certain. Yes, you said it possessed the power to lull others into a deep sleep. Admit that would explain these exceptional circumstances. Regardless, they were still bested by their enemy, and their charge was almost killed as a result. Punishment is the only recourse. I see. A harsh stance maybe, but I can respect that you don't treat your duty lightly. Ishgardian politics. Well, if you learn anything else of Leofin's plots, please let us know at once. Even though we didn't find her, I'm glad we were able to save those soldiers. Thank you for coming to us. Nay, it is a temple knight who owe you thanks. We shall continue our search, and rest assured, you shall be the first to know of any developments. So, it's easy to get on me. Are you? There's more I would tell you about the cradle. Things I should have told you sooner. Join me over there. I'll do my best to fix that mistake. Now, you've seen with your own eyes what I've only been able to describe. The narwhal's lullaby can put even hardened warriors to a restful slumber. Blech. They may as well be defenseless as a newborn babe, but even with such power, my people have never used it to attack our enemies. Its sole purpose has been to keep a single person awake, an eternal guardian who would never sleep, never rest, the wide eye, me. For 10 years I've been awake, training day and night to gain the strength I have now, the strength to shield my people. Of course, another must receive the weariness I cast aside, the shut-eye. You've met her, in fact, Loznikwe. As I've been awake these 10 years, she spent the better part of her days in a deep slumber. Her brief periods of wakefulness are spent exercising and sleeping so her body doesn't waste away. And so we've barely spoken, despite how much I depend on her. When we were young, we'd spend our days exploring the mountain paths, but that time is long past. Telling you all this now, I realize how little my life has been dedicated to my own pursuits. Loznikwe and I both have devoted ourselves entirely to the protection of our village. How... No, did not mean to open the chat log because I hit the wrong thing. How did Leofin steal the artifact from such an accomplished warrior? Well, about that. No, I've no excuse. It was my fault it was stolen, and I'll bear that burden. Protector must take responsibility for his charges. But we don't have the luxury to dwell on regrets. I see now that although my people never used the cradle for ill, wicked hearts can twist anything towards evil. And that's something I can't tolerate. The very thought that this might happen again makes the bile churn in my gullet. We must bring Leofin's schemes to an end. Between sleep and death. Just the person I wanted to see. I'd like to ask your advice on a certain matter, if you don't mind. It's been a while since my last letter to Loznikwe. I wanted to wait until I discovered something worth sharing to write her, but we're still completely in the dark. I don't want her to worry, but I don't know what to tell her. Whatever you write, don't make her wait too long. Good advice, as usual. I wish we had even a single thread to grasp, but an unexciting letter is better than none at all. Alright, I'll start right away. I may not have much time left. Oh, don't misunderstand. It's nothing so grave as that. It's just, well, last time I used the cradle was just before it was stolen. Luckily, I'm still as alert as I've ever been, but it won't be long till I must dream like any other. I will give Leofin free rein while I'm helpless in bed. There's no quarry more dangerous than one who doesn't sleep. We have to see this through before that happens. Mr. Sariana, Master Tentoa, I've received reports that several groups of temple knights have fallen foul of what can only be your stolen artifact. Several. Let me guess, they were all guarding someone else. You would be correct. It is the duty of a knight to protect those who cannot protect themselves. If we fail at even that most basic function, then our honor means nothing. As if the incident near Camp Dragonhead was not shameful enough, the knights in these most recent attacks were left in quite compromising positions. Yeah, the weight of embarrassment is a trifle compared to the guilt we would bear if any innocent came to harm. The Fury was merciful in that respect, but we would rather not see these incidents repeat. Still, while the Temple Knights must work to repair their reputation in the days ahead, it is a far cry from reading Ishgard grumbling to its knees. Truth be told, the methods of this passage of the Unbound leave me mystified. Leofin was cunning, if nothing else. Till we can discern her true motivations, we have little recourse but to wait until she makes a mistake. She may be testing the limits of the artifact's powers. Then you suggest she has a greater purpose in mind for it, and these incidents are simply a prelude. We cannot discount that theory, I admit. We shall remain vigilant. There's no telling how much chaos she can sow if left unchecked. We have to do everything we can to get the cradle out of her clutches. And to do that, we have to start asking the right questions. This new information makes me wonder, why she focused her attention on the Temple Knights? I pondered the same. Posted at Camp Dragonhead are knights from many houses of repute, including House Forton. Being a former Temple Knight herself, Leofin doubtless knows their habits and training. Perhaps that makes it easier for her to exploit their weaknesses. And if we follow the knights, we may pick up her trail. It's not ideal, but it's the best we have to go on. Well, a large contingent of knights has but recently been dispatched to Querthus. You remember Gorgain Mills? Yes, it has lain abandoned ever since the heretics were driven from it. Yet there is ever the risk that unsavory elements might infest it once again. Thus have the Temple Knights planned joint patrols to its premises with other contingents. Speak with Sir Redwald at Falcon's Nest. I'm certain he would be glad to have you along. Alright. Hopefully slightly more awake now. Let's make a Redwald. Is that Mistress Ariana? I see. Of course you are ever welcome in Falcon's Nest. Yet I believe I do not know your companion here. Indeed, whispers of the Temple Knight's humiliations have reached us even here. Falling asleep while on duty? I dared not believe the stories, but it seems there was truth in them after all. They fell asleep, true, but it wasn't their fault. We suspect they fell victim to an enemy wielding a powerful artifact. Now, the rumors fail to mention anything like that. If it can lull even trained warriors to sleep, then we must treat it as a serious threat. Nevertheless, if one knight falls, another is always at the ready to take their place. So long as the artifact cannot put an entire regiment under its spell, I believe we are well positioned to combat it. Interesting. The idea of your allies falling in battle doesn't seem to disturb you at all. Where I hail from, a single warrior is responsible for the safety of his entire village. Make no mistake, we do not doubt our allies' mettle, and we mourn every loss. Yet each man and woman here knows that if they must quit the battle, another sword just as fierce will take their place. To know that an ally is at your back would allow you to fight with abandon. Now, you believe this Leofin might take interest in their activities in Gorgain Mills. Yes, a party has already left, accompanied by a group of Temple Knights. If your suspicions are correct, then they are at risk. I would ask that you follow in their tracks and ensure they have not fallen victim to foul play. The mills can be found in the north, just across the Black Iron Bridge. The party should be arriving there soon, conditions permitting. Get to reach them before Leofin does. Hello, I see you there. Is this one of those I can land on? Yes. Ooh, cool. However, it is not look around right. Salute, pray. I don't know what this one is. Alert. I don't know what this one is. Let me look it up real quick. Okay, this one is apparently slash rally the pike, a mighty milestone sculpture carved in the likeness of Haldreth, the first Azure Dragoon. The stonemason Purcell devoted 30 of her later years at chiseling the piece, and it has stood for more than 150 years since. Even today, one cannot find a more stirring tribute to one of Ishgard's founding fathers. I believe there's also this one, but it's a really annoying jump, so I'm not gonna try to get it right now. I just remember it from, you know, when I finally looked up to get all mine on my main character. Hello, Kurta. This is one of the B ranks of Coerthas West. I was like, I wonder if someone's over here, and there was someone over there. We're too late. They're fast asleep. The red wall gave the impression there were more. These knights must have been the lookouts. We should awaken them, but keep your eyes peeled for Leofen. I'll rouse these ones. Arya, you search that building yonder. Okay. Oh, that is probably not a good mount to be on to search this building yonder, considering the height of it. Oh, hello. Who the hells are you? How do you get past the guards? What the heck? Down? I think it's down. Oh, yeah. I was about to do monk stuff. Monk stuff will not work here. I guess. Hit buttons. Maybe I can hit buttons. It's debatable if I can or not, but... It's you! Thank the fury you arrived when you did. Those thugs struck when our backs were turned. I assume the Temple Knights were protecting the entrance, so I wasn't as cautious as I should have been. Were they killed? Sleeping? I've heard stories, of course, but I didn't think they were true. Whomever is behind this, I'm sure they didn't count on you showing up. For now, we shall tend to our wounds and then finish our inspection here. Mistress Ariana, ask that you join the knights outside and wait until we're finished. Just as I thought, just when I was becoming bored, I sighted a familiar face among these slumbering knights. I simply had to come and make sure it was you. You finally found the courage to show yourself. Hand over the cradle now and I won't kill you. What did they call you again? The wide-eye. You must have had quite the journey to come this far. Be careful, Arya. This is our quarry, the thief who stole the cradle of the sleepless. This is Leofen. That is your ally. Wear their nimble hands. They may seek your artifact for themselves. It matters not, I suppose. Before you both throw your lives away, I suggest you think for a moment. Is the cause you fight for worth the sacrifice? So few of us know true freedom. If there is aught you would grasp with your own hands, do so before they wither and your eyes shut for the last time. The codes and rules that would bind man are mere illusions. Open your eyes, truly open them, and you shall see a path all your own. Only a fool would waste her life in the struggle of another. Quit spouting nonsense. Nonsense! Perhaps I'm here because of another after all. Payahi, who came to see me at the height of my debauchery and welcome me to our devious brotherhood. She guided me to the great power, yes, and now I lead the others upon the unbound path. Yet, truth be told, I have little interest in seeing where it ends. To tear down the world's nations, Ishgard among them, and usher the world into, well, what does it matter? Yeah, I do derive great pleasure in shaming the temple knights, and seeing the snickers and jeers that deflate their pompous stride as they walk down the streets. If this artifact can hasten their fall from grace, I believe I shall keep it. I know the path I walk, the one that leads to your downfall. And I won't abandon it. I'll take the cradle back. And then I'll... Oh dear, you seem to have lost your train of thought. No, you cannot hear me, but if you want your artifact back, I suggest stealing it from me while I'm asleep. Considering the burden that I've just passed to you, that opportunity may not come for some time yet. Why, I feel transcendent to take the shackles of fatigue weighed so heavily. Alas, it appears the artifact needs its own repose of sorts. No matter, I've learned more than enough to take my next step. See to it that this lot is disposed of. It is the least you can do for the freedom I have given you. Excuse me? You are under attack! I keep doing that. I'm still getting used to it. I think I need to change my gunbreaker hotbar a bit. By a bit, I mean probably a lot. I think I can move that there actually. Not great though. Ugh. Breaker's awkward. Anyway, let's help Tinto. Now I'm like messing with my hotbars. I'm like, I don't want to actually hit on my ones for a train, but also I need a better spot. Try as you might to rouse Tintoa, he seems completely detached from the waking world. Just have to move that back to where I had it. Looks like you saved us twice today. Thank you. But what of him? Fast asleep, just as we were. Could this be what Sir Firmalbert warned us of in his report? I see. Then those stories are more than just wicked rumors. I suppose there is some small comfort in the fact that our enemy tipped their hand without causing loss of life. While the drowsiness made my eyes heavy, my ears could not mistake Leofen's arrogant voice. If she would not scruple to attack four of her comrades in arms, then she has fallen further than I had dared imagine. Yeah, we bear the blame for allowing her to get the upper hand, and in so doing, put innocent lives in danger. Another black mark on our order. 'Twas only thanks to you and your companion's efforts that the snow was not stained red this day. Very least allow us to carry him to the congregation. Our work here is done, so we shall accompany them as far as Falcon's Nest. Arya, pray return to Ishgard and look after your friend. Well, glad am I to see you well, Mistress Ariana. I understand you come fresh from an encounter with none other than Leofen. Master Tintoa now rests on the second floor. We shall stand vigil by his side every moment until he opens his eyes again. We should not have long to wait, but if you wish to check on him, please do so at your leisure. There is another matter to discuss. Just before your departure to the Gorgain Mills, it seems there was another incident. group of criminals were released from their cells, their guards found in a deep sleep. Doubtless Leofin was behind this. And doubtless the ruffians you clashed with were those self-same criminals. Leofin is gathering those who bear a grudge against the Temple Knights to her side and using this animosity to her advantage. We know now for certain that Leofin is the mastermind of these attacks, and that her aim is to chip away at the very foundation of the Temple Knights, our honor. When I shared these revelations with my superiors, it was decided that none would speak publicly of the artifact and its powers. The passage of the Unbound seeks to overthrow the nations of the world. One obvious method to achieve this goal would be to stoke the flames of unrest among the common folk, thus sinking Ishgard into a mire of chaos and distress, not unlike the blasphemies of the final days. So long as these failures are placed squarely on the shoulders of the Temple Knights, we can avoid fomenting a more abiding mistrust in the nation's very core. For Ishgard's peace, I would gladly suffer any disgrace. The question remains as to whether we can apprehend Leofin before she tears our reputation to tatters. While Master Tintoba slumbers, it falls to us to search for clues that might point towards her whereabouts. Beacon in the darkness. Leofin remains as elusive as ever. If she is in leagues with Ishgard's more unsavory elements, she could be hidden anywhere. We have only her cryptic statements to guide us. It seems that whatever her plan is, her actions thus far have been but a prelude to its climax. With hope. Not again. We can but hope that Tintoa awakens before she emerges again. Arya, there you are. Oh. Hi. I'm so glad I found you. I was trying to think I was in the wrong city, but the narwhal guided me true. Oh, you must be the maiden Tintoa mentioned. You hail from the same village, yes? I'm Firmalbert of the Temple Knights. 'Tis an honor to meet you. Ah, Tintoa wrote about you in his letters. I'm Loziniqui, and the honor is all mine. Is Tintoa with you? I haven't received a letter from him for some time, so I came here to check on him myself. You insufferable fool! What have I always told you about rushing ahead without thinking? Now you have the gall to be sleeping when I arrive? You promised you'd write me. What was I supposed to do when the letters stopped coming? I was so worried. At least I can take some small comfort that he appears otherwise unharmed. I take it you're the thank for that, Arya. Is there any way to counteract the cradle's influence? Can one stay awake forever by sheer force of will? This cradle is affecting me. The answer is the same. Although we can deny ourselves food or drink, sleep is another matter. It always finds us in time. And to rouse oneself from a slumber this deep is an impossible task, even for someone like Tintoa. Do you know why Tintoa sleeps so soundfully? The reports of other incidents indicate that those affected awoke in a matter of moments, yet Tintoa shows no signs of stirring. Well, I'm sorry, I can't say for certain. But I do know the stories of those who came before me. More than one Shaddai has fallen into a sleep much like this, one so absolute that they become deaf to the outside world. With no means to sustain their bodies, they would waste away if left alone. So our people found a mixture of herbs and other materials that helped usher the Shaddai back to the waking world. What could possibly be strong enough to bring someone back from this? We Cold Spring Dew, and secrets of its making are passed down through generations. Each drop acts as a ray of sunshine in the darkest of sleep, a beacon for the dreamer to follow. I carry some of the ingredients on my person, but others must be gathered fresh. It won't be an easy task, but I'm certain it will save Tintoa. I don't know their Eorzi name, but one of the flowers' blooms is a striking yellow and grows only where mountain peaks soar above the clouds. Being so close to the heavens, it drinks in the sunlight and its petals cleanse the body and promote wakefulness. In the churning mist blooms a yellow flower called the dandelion, and no other place in Eorzea can one be closer to touching the sun. Good. Next we need a saliva of a beast we call morbles. The thicker it is, the better. Pungent odor could wake the dead. I know them well. Morbles are not an uncommon sight in the Ravanian hinterlands. A mature specimen should possess saliva with the desired effect. The prospect of gathering it, however, is an unenviable task. Once we have those two ingredients, mixing them with the rest should be a simple matter. You think you could procure them, Arya? Oh, your confidence is reassuring. Since the marble saliva must be the fresher of the two, I ask that you first climb into the heavens and pick dandelions for Tintoa. Dandelions. Dandelions. You know what would be lovely? If I could see anything here. Oh my gosh, I cannot see, but at least... Well, now I at least see the other glowy, but... Ooh. Visibility is... Sun-drenched dandelions shine in almost golden yellow. Now for a much more gruesome task. Venture to the Ravanian hinterlands and collect saliva from the mouth of a full-grown marble. Hello, great putrid marble. Is that just the one? Just the one. Cool. Let's get out of here. I'm ready to start mixing the ingredients at once. That is, of course, assuming you've brought them with you? Yeah. These are difficult to acquire at the best of times, so I thank you for gathering them so quickly. I shall get started immediately. We've done all we can. Now we wait for Tintoa to open his eyes. Huh? Where am I? I hope you enjoyed the sleeping the days away, Tintoa. And I'm glad you're finally awake. Lozaniqui? What are you doing here? See, so Leofin wheeled the cradle against me, and while I was tucked soundly in bed, Lozaniqui came all this way. Curse my weakness, just when we had her, just when I was needed the most, I failed. For 10 years I endured countless trials, and when the time came, I couldn't even swing my damn weapon! It's not your fault, Tintoa. If anyone's to blame for what's happened, it's me. No, I won't hear it. As you may know, Leofin won our trust by posing as a scholar traveling the width and breadth of Tyrol. She expressed great interest in the cradle and our customs, and was so excited to be an outsider that I answered her every question. I told her that the Wide-Eye keeps the cradle with them at all times, and then she hatched her plan. She took me hostage to draw out Tintoa. While Lozaniqui was sleeping, Leofin snuck into her chamber and held a blade to her throat. no choice but to give her what she wanted. The cradle of the sleepless. I put Lozaniqui's life before the future of our people. It was that at that moment I became unfit to be their guardian. Lozaniqui is one of your people. Protecting her was your duty. Thank you, Arya. You know just what to say. It was the only way to see a future where none of my people come to harm, especially at Lozaniqui. Even without the cradle, you're still our guardian. My guardian. We'll find a way through this together. See you. Not again. Blah, blah, blah. See you with such high spirits lifts my own. I don't know why this quest is like literally putting me to sleep. Oh, before I forget, you trounced Leoffin's thugs while I was dreaming in the snow, didn't you? I owe you a debt I won't soon forget. And I wager that debt will grow large before we pry the treasure from Leoffin's clutches. Whatever it takes, I won't stop until she's answered for her crimes. You know, while I was sleeping, I dreamed. I saw Lozaniqui and I as children. Nothing particularly interesting happened. We just whiled the days away without a care in the world. I've forgotten what it was like to dream. It was pleasant. I can remember wanting to stay there, to never open my eyes again. But of course, the moment I gave form to that thought, I opened them, and Lozaniqui was there. Even if we get the cradle back, will things return to the way they were? Will you go back to spending your life in dreams? I suppose so. It's my duty as a Shut-Eye, after all. Your duty! And it was your duty, too, that compelled you to come all the way here to Ishgard. But no more. What are you saying? I tried so hard to convince myself that you were glad spending so much time asleep, but being on the other side made me realize I was lying to myself all along. I don't want to return to a life where you and I are bound together, but always so far apart. I want to go back to those happy days where we walked by each other's sides. I guess what I'm saying is, if there's a different path for us, I want to find it. I want to walk it with you. But not yet. First, we reclaim the cradle, and when we have, we'll take our first steps towards that new future. I promise. I must confess, I haven't felt the same since I woke up. I know I was in that bed for a while, but instead of feeling refreshed, my body feels weaker somehow. It's almost as if my very strength was sapped when the treasure was turned on me. I didn't grip my weapon properly. Leoffin did remark that she felt invigorated. Maybe she took your vitality for herself. Does that mean Cradle has powers we don't know about? Not exactly. It may just mean the Cradle works differently than we thought. Its wielder might not pass on their fatigue, rather they absorb Ether's vigor. The end effect would still be the same. The Cradle's wielder can go on without sleep. Its victim loses the strength to even keep their eyes open. You never took more than you needed, so my slumber was always light enough to awaken from. But if the treasure was used without restraint... If we've had this realization, it won't be long until Leoffin does, too. And then it will be too late. We have to root her out. But I mustn't rush ahead blindly, as Lozaniqui never tires of telling me. I feel nearly weak as a child right now. I must spend what precious time we have training to regain what strength Leoffin stole from me. You have my word I won't rest until I'm in top form again. I suggest that you do the same, if for no other reason than to give me some stiff competition. Awakened, not stirred. You're looking strong, are ya? Well, I'm not my old self yet. I'm feeling better by the day. Still, there isn't much work to be done. I need to be even better than I was before if we were to have any hope of catching Leofin. I wonder what she's plotting with the rest of her cohorts. I know they aim to topple nations around the world, but this is an odd way to go about it, don't you think? Why haven't her misdeeds in Ishgard extended any further than the Temple Knights? We've pondered the same question. Our best guess was that as a former Temple Knight herself, she chose them because she knows how to exploit their weaknesses. She's using her knowledge as her weapon, and we need to equip ourselves likewise. If we can learn more about her, we might be able to anticipate her next move. A good plan, but I admit I have no idea where to start. Should we ask Frumelberg? I already have. He said that while he never knew her personally, the knights in her old squadron might be able to shed light onto her past. Some of them even now patrol the city, and Frumelberg was a great help in telling me where they might be. You've been busy, Loziniqua. Well, I can't remember the last time I was awake this long. I didn't want to sit around until I got tired again. And we're all the better for it. Since you've gathered the information, it's only fitting I should do the legwork. Just tell me where these knights are, and I'll speak with them. Gladly, but Ishgard is still an unfamiliar city for the both of us, right? Although Frumelberg told me where to go, the names of these places mean nothing to me. Luckily, we have Arya to guide you. You'll go with Tintoa, won't you? I knew we could count on you. Alright, take note of these locations. Being forced to work with someone like Leofin isn't a fate I would envy. I'm curious to hear what these knights have to say about her. Hopefully they provide insight that'll help guide us forward. Time is of the essence, Arya. Let's get moving. Tintoa is now accompanying you. Alright. 3 locations to visit here. They're, of course, all over the place. Because why wouldn't they be? You're upstairs, aren't you? Grr! Why would you be upstairs? Because, of course, you would be. Now, this is a rare privilege. What business could the savior of Ishgard have with a humble knight? What do I know about Leofin? Well, many temple knights come from common stock, but she was different. Despite what she became, Leofin was born of noble blood. Even so, she often made mock of Ishgard's customs and responsibilities that bound the conduct of noble families. Doubtless she yearned for freedom all her life, or her idea of it anyway. Although her deeds caused her to be expelled from the Temple Knights and summarily stripped of her title, she may have actually desired that outcome. If she hated so much here, all she had to do was leave. I hear she did leave, for a time at least. Now she's in league with a group that aims to plunge the world into chaos. A selfish heart like Leofin was sought out to aid in this plot. I shudder to imagine how wicked their leader must be. You require aid. I must keep watch, so forgive me if I don't engage in idle chit-chat. Leofin. For her, I can spare a moment. I don't suppose you know why she was expelled from the Temple Knights, do you? Well, few here were her equal in swordplay, and fewer still handled their mounts with such grace. She oft spent her nights carousing in the gambling halls. It was after just such a night that she fell asleep while on duty. Some may call it a cruel twist of fate, but dragons attacked her charges as she slept, and they were left defenseless. In her negligence, she was deemed to have aided our ancestral foe, and thus was stripped of her knighthood and noble title both. Knights fully sleep on duty. A story has become all too familiar. Given what happened, I have no doubt she came to fear sleep. Now she has conquered that weakness, and she wields it as a weapon against us. She may even believe herself to be beyond the reach of mortal danger. Yet she's only deluding herself, and in time, she'll be made to answer for her deeds. Statue of rinimt. I've heard that the people of Ishgard revere a warrior god, but here's a statue of a flesh and blood knight. I've never seen such a thing. My people make no figures or depictions of our departed, fearing that such objects would keep them from finding their way to the next world. The only idol we keep is the cradle of the sleepless, and thanks to his blessing, a wide eye has always watched over us. So our reverence is devoted solely to that narwhal. It's enough that it guides our people safely to the next sunrise. All is quiet. Even so, I must remain vigilant. Leofina, a name spoken of in hushed whispers now, but many have forgotten her strategic genius. She has a singular talent for achieving victory in battle by whatever means necessary. Genius? Maybe we're just too dense to see how our actions would cause Ishgard to collapse. Given that her group seems relatively few in number, and the assault on Ishgard is unlikely. Rather, I think her aim is to chip away at the people's trust in Ishgard's foundation, and by the absence of a few vital bricks, bring the whole nation tumbling down. The thought gives me worry. Even now, representatives from Ishgard are preparing to visit Okzundu in the Sea of Clouds. If anything were to go wrong, it would be a grievous blow to Ishgard's reputation. As we saw at Falcon's Nest, certain elements that oppose our nation see friendly gestures as a chance to spark conflict. Given recent developments, Sir Handaloop has been debating whether the visit is a wise choice. Well, we have a general understanding of what drives our adversary. Stories that paint a picture of a rotten and conniving soul. We know enough to guess her next move. You're right. Whatever her ultimate goal may be, it's clear she has an almost blinding focus on shaming the Temple Knights. And this, what'd he call it, a delegation, may provide an irresistible opportunity. Finally, we have acknowledged she is against our enemy. If we all work together, we may be able to trap her. We haven't much time. Let's return to the congregation and tell this Handaloop what we know. You are ever welcome at the congregation, Arya. I'm well apprised of Leofin's wicked deeds, and your efforts to flesh her out have been much appreciated. This must be Master Tintoa, who crossed the ocean from Tural. I hope you have recovered from your ordeal. Better than ever. Apologies for taking up one of your beds for so long. Please, no apologies are necessary. On the contrary, the Temple Knights yet owe you a debt for all you have done. Which brings us to the purpose of this visit. You had something to discuss with me. I see you and I had the same doubts. The delegation to Okzundu would be an obvious target for Leofin. I was but recently debating the wisdom of moving forward with our plans. As you know, all of Ishgard falls under the protection of the Temple Knights. As such, it is only meet that we maintain and strengthen friendly relations with our neighbors. The delegation in question is tasked with deepening mutual understanding of each of our cultures. So Nuvanu, chief of the Zundu, was most eager to host. It's so long as the specter of Leofin hangs over our order, I fear visits abroad are unwise. Should any of the Vanu come to harm, our relations could be damaged irreparably. As we have no way of knowing if Leofin has caught wind of our plans, I am of the mind that postponing the delegation may be the most prudent course of action for the safety of all. This could be the perfect chance to draw her out. That's right, Arya and I won't let anyone come to harm. And as long as you warn the Vanu in advance, they shouldn't hold the actions of a rogue against you. If they're truly your allies, they'll see the wisdom in your judgment. Please, send the delegation as planned. It'll be our best chance to capture Leofin. Yes, your words have merit. Thank you for the sage counsel. You're right. Zundu would not stand idly by while we suffer at Leofin's hand. In fact, the fellowship between our two peoples was forged when the god assailed their home and was brought low by a great hero, Arya. If we tell the Zundu that she is keeping watch over the proceedings, then I am certain all doubts shall be quelled. then you'll proceed. Indeed, the time has come for we Temple Knights to reclaim our honor and go on the counter-offensive. We shall bring the suggestion of a joint operation against Leofin to the Lord Commander as soon as possible. Thank you. Together we'll put a stop to her scheme. I must first discuss the matters with the others involved before we present a plan to the Lord Commander. Though time is of the essence, I ask that you wait a while until our course is settled. I realize now that I agreed to defend the people I know next to nothing about. Tell me if these Zundu will soon be visiting. They're like the Hanu Hanu, with even more of a penchant for metaphor. Really? Two groups of such people so far apart? The world really is full of surprises. Even a single city is enough for a lifetime. Every day I hear something that gives me food for thought. Like the story of the Dragon Song War, for instance. Generations of animosity between dragon and man that somehow ended in a rekindled fellowship. I imagined a whole world like that. A world where there'd be no need for protectors. The wide-eye watches not only the monsters in the wilderness, but our neighbors as well. We've barely even considered sending delegations outside our village's gates. And the cold snap only made things worse. With everyone struggling just to survive, our every thought goes towards defending our scarce resources. But if we only look outward with wariness, there's no hope for the future to change, no hope to build trust. If only there was a way to bridge the distance between us and greet tomorrow hand in hand. Maybe that's just a silly dream. Maybe. Either way, it's a beautiful thought. I'm glad you think so. I'll hold that future in mind as I get back to training. As for you, Arya, get some rest. If you fall asleep when I need you most, I'll wake you up with a knock to the head. Dreams of a new day. Sir Houndaloop still hasn't sent word. I guess the others might not be so enthusiastic about our plan. To them, the cradle of the sleepless is naturally still something to be feared. No matter how much faith they have in your strategy, in your strength, you'd be at Leofin's mercy if she put you to sleep. Honestly, I don't blame them. Not even I imagine their treasure could be used for such evil. In Leofin's hands, it is no more than an indiscriminate weapon. But that means when we get it back, we can turn it into something else. Something no one's ever thought of before. We can find a way to use it without forcing someone to spend their life in slumber. Of course I agree with you, Sintoa, but we have more pressing matters. Namely a rogue knight to capture and a treasure to recover. Right, sorry. I got ahead of myself. Apologies for keeping you waiting for so long. The Temple Knights have finally reached a decision concerning the delegation to the Sea of Clouds. And what have you decided? I'm pleased to say that the Zundu have agreed to join forces with us. Together, we shall drive back Leofin should she attack. For a shadow darkens even in the ilm of their homeland, our peaceful delegation shall turn into a fighting force at a moment's notice. We shall restore the Temple Knight's reputation and recover your artifact in one fell swoop. Thank you, Andalou. We promise to do our part. If Leofin shows herself, she won't get away this time. We have but to hammer out the finer details. Once you are ready to depart, the first group of knights shall leave by airship. I would ask you both to make your way to Okazundu as soon as possible so you might help plan our strategy. Upcoming 2! I can heal your wounds, and if it comes to it, my staff can bruise as well as a club. I'll gladly have you with us. I'm done taking on the world alone. I need you, Loziniqui, and Arya too. We're stronger together than we could ever be apart. The cradle never would have been stolen if I'd realized that from the beginning. I want you by my side to ensure I don't forget it. Well then, we better be off. I'm keen to meet with Chief Sonu Vanu. Okay, so I know we gotta save them all, but Alpha! Hi, Alpha! Hello, buddy. It's been a little while. When are you coming to Dawntrail areas? When are you coming to Tyrol? Huh? You need to come to Tyrol, Alpha. Oh yeah, Mega's over here watching the fishing. Hi, Alpha! Anyway. That's not the direction I needed to go. I needed to go over here. Because... yeah. Honored Netherling, your return to Oxundu is as welcome as the arrival of the spring. Sona knows why you come. Wicked hearts seek to bring chaos to our home. And so the Zundu shall rise to its defense if needed. As the sun's rays chase away the shadows of night, the sun drop dance shall keep the tendrils of sleep at bay. Chief Sanuvanu, it's an honor to meet you. I'm Tintoa, and if the sun drop dance is as invigorating as you say, I'd love to see it for myself. The Zundu shall dance before Ishgard's warriors upon their arrival. Brave Tintoa is welcome to join it for the proceedings. That was your original intent, right? I see. If we were to draw Leofin out, it makes sense to pretend like nothing is amiss. Zundu warriors unify their strength through the Sundrop dance, and the sight is so fearsome that many choose to flee rather than fight. Netherling warriors may learn much from such an approach. Breaking the enemy's spirit avoids needless bloodshed. Yet all dancers must hone their skills before wild animals first, that the Sundrop dance does not fail them at the most crucial moment. It is for that reason our dancers await at the outskirts of Oak Sundu for the Netherlings' arrival. When the performance begins, it shall draw the attention of all like a rolling cloud coming over the horizon. Watch carefully for any who would take advantage of that moment. After the dance is finished, Netherlings will present the Zundu with... Chief Sonu, Netherling ship appears in the skies like sudden sun shower, hurtling toward Earth. Swiftly it descends, crashing down near Zundu dancers. Ship's markings are Ishgardian. Zundu are unhurt, but wounded Netherlings pour from vessel. Like a lightning bolt in night, Leofin strikes. Temple Knights were coming by airship, right? All Leofin had to do was lull the pilot to sleep. She saw right through us, and now we're on the back foot. Great winds can alter even a raging river's course. What matters is to stand strong and move forward, and now we must offer aid to the Netherlings who come as guests. Right, let's go. If this is the work of the cradle, Leofin can't be far. We must tend to the wounded, but I won't let her escape again. This ends today, one way or the other. 680. Wah. There you are, Leofin. You came all this way just to greet me. Oh, I am honored. You came all this way just to greet me. Oh, I am honored. I only hope my gift was satisfactory. 'Tis a shame you will not see Ishgard crumble. Alas, I can scarcely suffer rats to scurry about my feet, threatening to gnaw away at my carefully laid plans. At least you bear witness to the dying breath of the Temple Knight's flagging honor. We would sooner see that wrecked airship soar again than their reputation return to its former glory. Yet even I did not foresee that the Zundu would be in the ship's path. The fury favors me, for who now would trust a nation so careless as to put their neighbors at risk? Everyone knows you're behind this. People won't turn on each other so easily. Oh, I didn't see you there, the shut-eye. Wide awake. A doubly honored I am that you came all this way just to meet your end. Enough! We're taking the cradle back. We won't let your evil continue any longer. Such bold words. If I recall correctly, your people reap great benefits from this artifact's power. All the cost is someone's waking life. Your life. Pray do not misunderstand me. That was not meant to be a denouncement of your people. On the contrary, I have my utmost respect. We are bound by our very nature. No matter how mighty we become, we are slaves to the whims of sleep. Yet this artifact can sunder those shackles and grant true freedom. It makes its wielder stronger and their enemies weak. A perfect weapon, if you ask me. I can't say whether using the cradle is right or wrong. I only know that a life lived is at the cost of another is no life at all. You're right about one thing. We are bound by our nature, but that doesn't shackle us. It brings us together. And whether I'm asleep or awake, as long as those iniquities by my side, that's the life I want. We'll take the cradle back. Together. She's exhausted the cradle's power on the Temple Knights. This is our chance. No plan is without its wrinkles, I suppose. Fortunately, I prepare for all contingencies. You had an opportunity to live a quiet life, but I will not give it again. This time I shall send you into a slumber from which you will never awake. You will never awake. Protect the Temple Knights. Give back the cradle a whirl, or we will take it back. Bluster as usual. Take me if you dare. Alright. I don't know if I can do as silly as I did with Warrior here, but we're gonna try. Let's probably take more. I can almost certainly take more. Did I not hit that? So more. Fine. Now, wash away darkness, asleep with Sundrop dance. Don't just stand there, kill them. Oh, he was like, I'll take this side. Also, I could probably, put my, tank stance on. Hey, tank stance. That might help me, tank things. Kind of, be lazy playing, but maybe I shouldn't be as lazy as I am being. Aurora you? I can. Witness the sun drop dance. Netherling warriors awaken. And there's a fearsome dancing. Gives rise to a swell of ether. Everyone's awake. Mighty Zundu protect Netherling warriors. Keep cautious like Gala Cat under stormy skies. Now you're all alone. This ends now, Leothin. Why am I cursed with incompetence? Very well. Dance with me, Wide-Eye. Where are you going? Am I not going into crazy places? Thank you. Maybe it could hold such immense power. Artifact isn't for such callous hands. Carmel's blessing is for it's only for those with the heart of a defender. Do you mind? No. I just got my combo. Cool. Stupid tank towers. I guess that was a buster, and I probably should have properly, buffed for it. It's fine. It's so fine. With explosive power, it aches to be released. Now you show your eyes for the final time. Take a glimpse of the waking world. Take a last glimpse of the waking world. Brace yourself against the power of the artifact. Protect you until my last breath. Hello, passage of arms. None can resist my power. I'm alright. What about Santoa? And you think this piece of wood is for protection? Such a cloying sentiment. Cursed insects, you lot, finish them off. Earn your freedom. Sundrop Dance shall arouse Netherling warrior. Protect the sleeper until he awakens. Oh, I guess I should get passage of this. Like a tank. Pretend I'm a tank here in some way. I'm barely tickling, honestly. Does it really just stand here? Really? Aurora's gonna do anything on him. On your feet, Santoa! It's your duty as the Wide-Eye. What? I was asleep? I owe you all my life. Thank you. Zundu go to help allies. May Zephyr winds guide you to victory. No! Sleep is inexorable! How are they doing this? Far from finished. Okay, come on. I'm done. gladiator in Sylvan's subterranean. Nothing. My combo is sure is nothing as well, but for my rotation. Look at me actually using my pink abilities. It's like I'm a tank. We will be bound to know more. Oh, it's a stat. Okay, get over here. Are you not gonna... Cool, in range. Good job, Cast Rini. Have your foe in the right uptime positioning. I'm poisoned. Lionheart? Cool. Easy peasy, right? Ugh, you stubborn. May have won today, but this is not over. Yes, it is. Damn fool. Now. No! Say goodnight, Leofin. The wide-eye watches eternal, and eternal is the sleep it bestows. We finally stopped her! Yes, but we have someone else to worry about. Arya, wake up! Are you alright? Huh, only she would smile at a time like this. She's awake! Your work is done, Arya. You did a commendable job as our shield, and now you can lay down your burden. It's thanks to your bravery that I was able to deal the final blow to Leofin. And with the cradle back in our possession, I think we can consider this expedition across the seas to be a success. The Zundu helped us gather the wounded and see them safely off to Ishgard, but he couldn't have done it without you. Netherlings protect allies as fiercely as Galacat protecting kittens. Zundu are moved by your might. You are equally as impressive. I shall learn the Sundrop dance myself, though I won't strike a figure half as fierce as yours. The Zindus seem to have everything well in hand, and Houndaloop is likely eager to see us. We should return to Ishgard as soon as we can. Ah, the heroes of the day have returned. Thanks to your valor, the threat Leofin posed is no more. What's more, not a single life was lost. On behalf of the Temple Knights, allow me to express my utmost gratitude to you all. You don't owe me any thanks. After all, it was my fault that the cradle was stolen in the first place. It wasn't only my fault that your delegation to Ogzundu turned into a melee. It may be true that our visit to the Sea of Clouds was far from peaceful, but the bond between the Zundu and Temple Knights has only deepened through overcoming mutual adversity. Blessings often take inscrutable forms. And while we know not whether Leofin yet lives, we do know that she can no longer reach the source of her ill-gotten power, so we have little more to fear from her. With the crisis behind us, the common folk no longer have aught to fear. We will make known the story of Leofin's schemes and the heroes who work to foil them, and in time, hope that trust in our order will be restored. The Temple Knights shall continue to build relations with our neighbors for years to come. Relations which shall form the foundation for Ishgard's future. We would be honored if we could count you among our allies in this endeavor. Anything you need, simply call upon us. We'll be there, no questions asked. And with that, it's time we return home. It's been an honor. We'll be passing through Tulial on our way back, Arya. If you have business in those parts, we'd love to speak to you at Chevalier of Tai before setting off. See you soon, hopefully. Arya, there you are! I was afraid we wouldn't see it before we left. We arrived not long ago and apprised Brook Evu of everything that happened. This is the longest I've spent away from our village, but even though Tulial and Ishgard were like entirely different worlds to me, I was only ever treated with kindness. And it's something that matters, Sintoa. Nothing, it's just something I've been thinking about. Our people have always been self-sufficient, but the Ishgardians and the Zundus showed that looking to your neighbor can reveal a way through the harshest difficulties. And you heard Houndaloop. The bond between Ishgard and Ogzundu was only made deeper through their shared ordeal. To trust another to such a degree, well, I think it's a goal we should all strive towards. We have at least one friend like that, don't we? She who bent her ears to every note of the narwhal's lullaby without a shade of fear in her eyes. Thank you, Arya. For believing in us, for believing that no matter the outcome, your actions would not be in vain. In so doing, you taught me the worth of fighting alongside allies you can trust. Even if your shield breaks, that is not the end. You're right. It's our faith in our allies and their faith in us that gives us the courage to protect each other. But approaching someone with open arms doesn't mean they'll accept you. The relations between our people and our neighbors have been strained by generations of mistrust, and we must take care to mend them properly. If we can do that and learn to look towards the future hand in hand, then there will be no need to use the cradle ever again. People can sleep and dream untroubled, awaken with bright eyes. I want to see those days come to pass. Me too. Then you can finally spend more time. Then you and I can finally spend more time together. Right. Of course. If we're gonna see this future, then we should get back to our village. They'll be overjoyed to see the cradle returned. Thank you for everything, Arya. Next time we meet, may we both have good news to share. No sleep till Tulial all. Well, that wraps up the tank quest series, which leaves us with healer and mage. We will be doing healer next. Why? Yeah, I might want to get new accessories actually. Details. So, thank you for watching and staying awake with me through this very sleepy episode. If you enjoyed the video, consider tossing a like, comment, subscribe, maybe click the bell for those notifications. Also be sure to check out the description below. Various links, social media, Discord, come hang out, get notifications there as well. And until next time, this is rinimt signing out. Bye!